This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich, founder of Abich Financial Services.
All right, we're into December officially. It was a couple weeks back on this program, Abe, I was saying it's my duty every year, this time of year, time to order Shelley's Christmas gifts, if you haven't done
I appreciate that reminder. Yeah, I'm working on that. Right?
Okay.
So I appreciate that reminder. And again, another reminder to all of you listening right now, don't wait until it's too late.
What kind of gift giver are you for you and Shelley, for each other?
I will say, probably calling Shelley out on the radio right now.
Oh, no.
But, it's a little hard to shop for her because
that's everybody in certain phase of life.
She likes to get things on her own. And in fact, I just had to cut her off here recently and tell her, hey, okay, we're getting close to Christmas.
Right.
If you continue buying things for yourself, then those are your Christmas presents.
Can we get Abe, you and I are going to get together and we're going to sit my husband Kyle and your wife Shelley down and explain to them, because Kyle is the same way.
Yeah.
Makes me crazy.
Yeah.
Do you usually buy like one big gift, or do you do many gifts? Do you do lots of little gifts?
She likes having a handful of gifts. She probably likes getting, a nicer gift in there, but she would rather open
and then have
several gifts. Mm-hmm. She would rather open several gifts than one really nice gift.
Okay. That's good to know.
I'm the other way around.
You want one big nice gift?
Yeah. Yeah.
I could go for both. If it's a really nice gift, I'll take it, but I don't mind opening a few things. I just, the pressure of, like you said, you get to a place where people just get what they want for themselves in life. That's my whole family. I'm just going to start giving everybody gift cards to Starbucks and calling it a day. Merry Christmas. I'm not being grinchy. It's just, it gets harder and harder year in, year out. Mm-hmm. The idea of gift giving, that I was interested to know, because some people are very one or the other. They're like, no, we do one big gift, or we do a lot of little gifts and spread things around. It's like a diversification. This is how I'm bringing it into our conversation about the financial aspect. We diversified the gifting this time of year and spread things around. So thinking about your savings, your investments, a lot of us do at least what we think. We're spreading things around in a different variety of assets, looking for diversification. And it's a strategy that we hope will work well for us during a time of market volatility. However, it is important that you check under the hood. This is Dominic Papalarato with Morningstar.
Investors may build a portfolio. Think of your 401k account, for example. Maybe you own a broad market S&P 500 diversified fund. Maybe you also have a growth fund to try and get some upside. One of the index providers I looked at, the top 8 names in their broad market fund were exactly the same as the top 8 names in their growth style index. So investors may be attempting to get diversification by holding funds in different categories, and they're really not, because there's so much overlap from these large names. So even people that think they're trying to minimize that risk may not actually be doing that.
And again, frustration, Abe. As savers, as investors, we're trying to be responsible. We're trying to do the right thing, and the system is working against us.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Dominic brings up a great point that we bring up to our clients and prospective clients also, when they're considering working with us, and we're giving them a second opinion. One of the things we do is we go under the hood in terms of their investments, and actually we'll use a Morningstar report, because Morningstar is a great research engine for the investment industry and can really give us the black and white details on investments in funds, stocks, bonds, and the ups and downs, pros and cons, the costs, the risk, the overlap, which Dominic just mentioned. So important. And that is eye-opening for so many people who come into the office and don't know any better, especially for those of you that are married and may have 5, 7, 10, sometimes 12 to 15 accounts.
Yeah.
Several IRAs in each of your names, several 401ks in each one of your names, several trust and joint brokerage accounts, bank accounts. You could easily, if you're married, have 10 to 15 accounts. That's a lot of accounts. And then if they're with different custodians, which they usually are, like let's just say you have a handful with Fidelity and some with Vanguard and some with T. Rowe or Principal, Schwab, whoever they are. Like Dominic said, you can very easily have what's called overlap. I call it intersection. Where you have like, hey, you might have Microsoft in this account. You might also have Microsoft in this account. Even though they're different funds, there may be a lot of exposure to Microsoft or Tesla or NVIDIA, whoever the company is. Then you look across the whole plan and you realize, wow, yes, you do want exposure to those companies I mentioned and many others, right? But you don't want to own that company 15 to 20 times over in your portfolio. That would be extremely inefficient.
Right.
So by consolidating and streamlining, pulling all these resources together, pulling all the accounts together into a well thought out and consolidated plan, you get way more efficiency when it comes to your investments and the overall plan. And so, look, there's so many things to be uncertain about in the world right now, and there almost always is, but you can create a lot of certainty around your financial and retirement plan by putting together a plan for this next season of your life. From going from a pile and collection of accounts that you've accumulated over the last 30 to 50 years to maybe a few accounts, maybe one platform, one custodian, maybe 1 to 2, where you really consolidate and become a lot more efficient with this strategy heading into retirement. We just helped a couple out on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from our office, and every year they make the drive in each way, and they've consolidated all of their accounts with us and the plan in general. But before that, their stuff was everywhere. Tons of overlap between the husbands and wives' accounts and positions.
Yeah.
And they were actually more conservative than they wanted to be, right?
Oh,
we're talking maybe 30 to 50% in stocks and equities versus 60 to 70.
Okay.
People don't really know what they own and are investing in until they get it checked and have a really good understanding of that by having the analysis run. No clue where really everything was between the husband and the wife. Matter of fact, the kids are starting to help them out because they're getting up in age. They're in their early to mid 70s, and the kids are starting to just help them with consolidation, help them with their statements, and just making sure kind of everything's in place.
Sure.
Right? So when these days come and we start to get sick, older, or pass away, the whole family's in sync. We discovered all of this, and they discovered it through our portfolio X-ray. We consolidated everything. We simplified everything. And you can get additional clarity on your retirement plan by truly understanding where you are today and where you want to be and where you need to be in the future. And we can help you to make those adjustments as necessary. If you're listening right now, you're 55 years old and older, you've saved $500,000 or more for your retirement. We want to offer you the same portfolio X-ray and analysis that we offer to this couple in Maryland on the Eastern Shore. And so if you've got 401ks, TSPs, IRAs, stock accounts, whatever you have, we can run the analysis on all those accounts so you truly understand what you own and so you can truly make sure it's the best thing for you for this next season of your life.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine?
It's a crazy time of year, so we're going to soothe. We're going to soothe the folks that can listen to us on the radio this weekend, Abe, with the dulcet tones that is the sing-songing of Mr. Fred Rogers. And I couldn't believe when I was reading the numbers, it's been over 20 years since he passed away. I couldn't believe it was that long ago. And the things that we continue to learn and about things that we thought we knew growing up with, this is a fun story because, of course, that iconic beloved song that we all, if you're a child of the 70s, the 80s, even the 90s, singing along that song. But did you know it was always a little bit different in every show open? While Mr. Rogers would sing the opening lyrics, the accompanying piano actually played it a little bit different. So there's some jazz, little jazzy. And if you listen to it, it does have that jazz feel to it now.
Right.
It was never played the same way twice in a row. And it's kind of like the retirement planning process, Abe. We all need to have the same areas covered. We need to have protection, income, growth, tax planning, healthcare, certain categories covered, but every person's goals are different. So what is it that you do at Abich Financial that works to ensure a retirement plan is personalized for somebody's wants and needs?
Yeah, great question. Well, look, everyone's different, right?
Yep.
So if everyone's different in terms of age and assets and lifestyle preferences and what they want to accomplish in retirement, then no retirement plan should look alike, right? They should all be different and customized. Right. So some of the questions we'll ask our clients are, if you could visualize your ideal retirement, what would that look like? Your lifestyle plan, everything you want to pursue in the glory years of your retirement lives are just as important, if not more important, than the money. The money's going to help you do what you want. Do you have a general age range in mind for when you want to retire? What types of experiences do you plan to spend money on? We talk about people having a spending problem. They need to spend more. Otherwise, they're going to get into their 80s and 90s and not enjoy their money. Have you considered healthcare costs, how that will impact retirement and living long? All kinds of things that are changing that need to be customized in a tailored plan.
Okay.
Speaking of customization, we just helped a lady. She's 75 here in Loudoun County area, and 75 years old and widowed, very conservative, socked away about $3 million for herself, and all of her retirement income needs are met through guaranteed income sources, through a military pension, federal FERS pension, some VA disability, and a Social Security check, about $150,000 a year of guaranteed income that covers all of her retirement income needs and way more. And in addition, she was so diligent and prudent over the 40, 50 years when she worked that she socked away $3 million in TSPs, IRAs, brokerage accounts, and bank accounts.
Amazing.
So she's coming to us saying, well, I think I'm okay from an income standpoint, Abe and the team, but I've got all this money and I don't really know what to do with it. I knew how to save it, but I don't know how to get it out. I don't know how to pass it on in the best ways to my daughters and grandkids and the charities of my choice. And that's why I'm coming to see you. So we put together a comprehensive and customized phase 2 retirement plan for her. One of the main things she wanted help with was RMDs. And since she didn't need another penny of retirement income, she is donating 100% of her RMDs through QCDs, qualified charitable distributions, to the church that she goes to, some other churches in the area, and the nonprofits of her choice. In addition, legacy planning, also very important, wanted to pass dollars on to her daughters and grandkids in the most tax-efficient way possible.
Wow.
We put together a comprehensive phase 2 retirement plan to help her do just that. Consolidate everything, the insurance, investments, healthcare plan, the estate plan, helping her with taxes. We addressed all of it in a well-thought-out, customized phase 2 plan for her. If you're listening right now and you are also 55 years old and older, you don't have a comprehensive plan put together for phase 2. That's specifically for people 55 and older. We want to offer that to you, that comprehensive phase 2 retirement plan, complimentary.
An article on MarketWatch.com I saw had the headline, I am 80 and my RMD is $300,000. What the heck am I supposed to do about my huge tax bill? Abe, this person has over $6 million saved in their IRA. And it's a striking example of what can happen when somebody is a diligent, successful saver with their 401k or their IRA. And it's also why we talk about why you at Abich work on strategies like IRA to Roth conversions, because growing your retirement savings is one thing. Managing the tax liability of it is a completely different challenge. So how do you help? What can be done to avoid circumstances like this?
Well, you need a tax plan and you need a tax strategy, right? This person you just mentioned on MarketWatch is in their 80s with $6 million. Of course, they're going to have significant RMDs because they delayed taxes their entire lives.
Yep.
We have a lot of clients who are receiving significant RMD amounts, and we're being proactive with a lot of those clients when it comes to tax strategy and planning.
Okay.
Because our clients realize, well, I've got significant dollars saved. I've got significant RMDs that have to come out, but taxes will probably only get worse because listen, we have almost now $40 trillion. Almost. We're sitting at $38 trillion, more than $38 trillion in national debt. And we can actually just treat it like it's another number or act now to potentially reduce our tax burden in our later years in retirement. Because think about these couples, think about these people who have saved $3 to $6 million or more. If all that money continues to grow and performs well in the market, the tax problem continues to compound and worsen probably as well.
Got it.
Right? Ask yourself, are taxes going to get worse? Are they going to go higher down the road? Or are they going to go lower? Well, the answer is for a lot of people, taxes are probably going to be higher, especially if you've saved a significant amount. And we just helped a couple in Vienna, Virginia, who's in this same predicament, $5 million saved, late 60s here. Almost the entire $5 million is in 401ks and IRAs pre-taxed. Great job of accumulating, little tax diversification, huge potential problems, Roth conversions, tax planning at the top of their priority lists. In fact, they are also going to be converting $300,000 a year for the next handful of years.
Okay.
And yes, that's going to bump them up into higher tax rates now. But with $5 million tax deferred and compounding, that bucket is going to continue to grow, which will continue to grow the RMDs, which will likely continue to push them up into higher tax brackets down the road. What do you want to do? You want to handle part of it now, or do you want to deal with it later? right? And so a lot of people want to deal with it now and start to address it now.
Yeah.
They discovered this through our tax mapping report and analysis, where we showed them, hey, this is what you should consider converting. Get those reports run for yourself. Get clear on your tax strategy and on your tax plan in retirement. It's crucial. Probably going to be your biggest expense in retirement. You can't ignore it. You need to address it. Try to lower and mitigate that tax bill on your net worth, on your IRAs, pre-tax dollars as much as possible through a tax mapping report and plan. If you're 55 and older, you've saved $500,000 or more for your retirement, we want to offer you the same tax mapping report and analysis, complimentary.
Abe and his team, they are here to help you do that. So it's theretirementkey.com to start the conversation, or you can just click on the links we've got posted in the show notes.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich. To learn more about Abich Financial Services, visit theretirementkey.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. Abish Financial Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor with the SEC. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and the content of this communication has not been approved or verified by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission or by any state securities authority. The information contained in this material is intended to provide general information about Abish Financial Wealth Management and its services. It is not intended to offer investment advice. Investment advice will only be given after a client engages our services by executing the appropriate investment services agreement. Information regarding investment products and services are provided solely to read about our investment philosophy and our strategies.